Hey, deserving listeners. In today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing the results of the survey that I sent out to y'all, asking you about who you liked and who you disliked, and if you had any hot takes. I'm going to review all of that. But first, I want to go over some of the news stories that people have been sending to me. And keep in mind that right now where I am, I have not watched episodes 10, 11, and 12. Those episodes came out a few days ago. So if there's any new developments news-wise, then I will not have seen that in my timeline today. But one of the big news stories, and I already reviewed the whole Alex story in detail in a recent episode, and that full episode in which I think I talked for an hour or two about the Alex situation was absorbing a lot of the information is available. That whole video is available to members. And this whole video will also be available to members. But I thought I would, as a free portion here, review some of the stories. One of the stories is that Brittany, or Britt, apparently got engaged to Mo on the show and was not included in the edit. If you don't remember Britt, she was the one that was dating Devin in the pods. And when Britt told Devin about her sexual orientation, he reacted in her mind in a way that wasn't ideal. And so she broke up with him. It didn't look like a very contentious breakup. And then we never really saw Britt again. But apparently she was also dating Mo at the time, and then they got engaged. And according to Storytime with Ricky, she broke the news, I think after talking with Britt, maybe Mo, I'm not sure. But apparently they got engaged on the show, but chose not to go to the getaway. So they were basically opting out of the show. So that's apparently why they would not be in the edit, right? This happens sometimes. Apparently every season, on average, there's one or two or more couples that will get engaged that will not be included in the edit. I think most of the time, reportedly, the reason why that is because production will have, say, 8 couples to choose from, but they only have enough money for 5. Sometimes they'll stretch it to 6. And they try to prioritize those couples that they, as production, think are most likely to actually get to the altar. Because I think that, in all likelihood, makes for a better TV show, if there's real stakes, which I think the show has demonstrated that there are real stakes for a lot of these couples. There's many couples that are still currently married. So if they highlight that, then it gives the reality TV show an element of reality. At least it does for me. Now, with Britt and with Mo, that was not the case. For them, they opted out. But there's a lot of couples that will not be included. Another reason why couples will be edited out, there was a couple a few seasons ago that reportedly had some, what some people would call toxicity in their relationship, or one of the individuals was toxic in some ways, and they did go on the getaway and were at all the events, and the editors had to figure out a way to just edit around them, and we would see them, like when all the cast got together for the kind of pool party kind of stuff, they would be there. They're like, who's that other couple? Famously, one of the couples was actually engaged before they even went into the pods. They acted like they didn't know each other. They got engaged in the pods again, and then the production figured out that that was the case, and they were edited out. So, there's reasons. But for Britt and for Mo, I think some people think, oh, great, the show is racist for not including a black couple, because, there's a fair amount of white couples that are being included this season. So, but apparently Britt and Mo were completely opting out of the show. And certainly the show might have some racist moments to it. We could imagine that being true. But anyway, so according to Ricky, Britt called off the engagement soon after they left the pods. And apparently, according to Ricky, that Mo had never dated a black woman before and, quote, said he wouldn't be able to get there with a black woman. So who knows if this is true, but it sounds like Mo disclosed to Britt that he'd never maybe he didn't know that Britt was black, I don't know, or he was willing to give it a try, and then said that he would never be able to get there, meaning fall in love. That's pretty disappointing to hear. Just based on the color of someone's skin, you wouldn't be able to fall in love. I don't know how Britt is handling it. Britt seemed like a pretty strong person, but that's gotta hurt. Yikes. What do you think about that? And then, all right, reading more of this article on Cosmopolitan, they are highlighting an online Instagram fight or conflict between Mo and Molly, if you remember Molly. And apparently Molly is saying that Mo had some problematic behavior or statements, even in the pods. And Mo is pushing back on that, saying that's ridiculous. So who knows? But it sounds like something's going on there. I don't know. Another story that some of y'all sent me is that Kylie and Brian, this is Kylie here, got engaged, or they didn't get engaged, but they matched up in the pods, and they did not get engaged, but they're still dating, maybe still a year and some, I don't know how long ago they shot this show, but I get the impression it might have been like a year or more ago. So rumor has it that they're still dating, and apparently people are calling her half jacket girl. Oh yeah, she kind of has half of a jacket. Half jacket girl made a connection and it wasn't shown. And then someone down here says, looks like she found her other half. Now she can find the other half of that jacket. Yeah, I'm sure it's all just in good fun. I hope that people aren't bullying her because of her outfit, although that is interesting. So my first thought was that the other half of the jacket is like, but I think that's actually like half, it's a dress that's half jacket, half dress. Like if you turned a different way, you'd be like, I'm wearing a jacket. No, I'm wearing a dress. I'm wearing a jacket. I'm wearing a dress. Which is, I mean, yeah. Well, she kind of, fashion. I will say that, if anyone's going to pull it off, it looks like she's pulling it off, right? Anyway. So I thought I would talk a little bit about the survey, and this full discussion of the survey will be in the member portion, but I thought I would share with y'all who was the most liked and most disliked by the respondents to the survey. By the way, 105 people responded. Thanks for that. I'm always curious about your feelings. And remember that I administered this poll after episode 9 was aired. So episodes 10 and forward had not been aired. So everyone's attitude would be from that time. And I usually will do a survey at the end of the season to see if anything has changed, and often things do. But the most disliked person, can you take a guess as to who that person is? And I included everyone that they showed in the pods. So not only just the people that got engaged, but the people that also, that didn't get engaged, people like Molly and Devin and Britt and these. But the most disliked person was Dave, by far. Dave, by far, at this point, was the most universally disliked person. Out of 105 responses, only 2 people said they liked him, and 97 said they disliked him. That's interesting. And that was my sense. Yeah. You've heard me talk about Dave a lot, and I don't think anyone deserves to be... what I will say is that everyone, audience out there, has absolutely the right to have a personal like or dislike or whatever feelings about the cast. That's why you watch the show, is to have your own sort of personal reaction. I would say that there's a difference between one's personal reaction or talking about it with your friends or even responding to an anonymous survey. There's a difference between that and actually going after him and assuming that you know who he is and what sort of personality he has. That, you know, that's a completely different thing. Disliking someone is extremely different from bullying, from mob bullying, from diagnosing him, from assuming that he's abusive or anything like that. You know, just, you know, you could dislike someone and say like, well, I don't know what's going on with them. Anyway, so there's that. The most liked person, it is a tie. Or no, there's one person that is more like. It is, who do you imagine is the most liked person? It is Monica, who beats Joey by 1 vote. There's a pretty sizable group, though, about 10% dislike Joey and Monica. So there's that. So I'm going to review the rest of this survey, go over each cast member. I also asked if you liked this season or if you thought it was an average season or hated it. And also there's a bunch of hot takes that I want to go over and react to. And that's the end of the free zone. So if you want to see this whole video, become a member by clicking the join button below. Otherwise, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.